Hello, 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 welcome back to the channel. Today I have a couple of hauls to go through. I have a haul from the weekend. We went to a lovely little town, Wetherby, and they've got a good, I think it's about 7 or 8 charity shops. We took our little rescue dog with us, Torvi, because it's quite dog friendly there. We found a lovely cafe for breakfast, and then we had a wander around the charity shops. Didn't do any filming because it was we were just focused on spending some quality time together this weekend, but I did pick up a few bits and bobs. News wise, I've got booked in for the Witchy Market, which is coming up in October, so that's the 20th. So I need to make sure that I have plenty of stock, and it'll mainly be jewellery. So I've been working on some nice brooches. I've been doing the spiders with the vintage beads. I've done some little witchy earrings, some ghosts. And then I'm going to do some of my assemblage jewellery as well, which is where I take all bits and pieces. So usually the broken stuff that I put to one side, I usually take all of that apart, and then I use all the different elements to create new jewellery. So yesterday I listed one of my bigger pieces that's taken me quite a while to make, and that was a blend of copper materials, vintage, a little bit of modern in there, some gemstones. It had a beautiful circular domed piece of malachite, which was beautiful. So I made it kind of a greens and coppers feel. So that was listed yesterday on the Etsy shop, and then it's kind of given me a bit of a creative push in that area. So I've started work on another necklace, and I thought that might be the kind of thing that people would be interested in, because it's different. Every piece is unique, so no one piece is the same, because it uses all these different elements from vintage materials right through to modern materials. You're never going to find something like that. So if someone wants a one-of-a-kind limited edition piece, then this would be right up their street. So I'm going to do a mixture just so that there's a variety. So I'm going to do some earrings, going to do some bracelets, and then some necklaces as well. Different themes, different colours, and I've got loads of materials that I can dip into, which is fantastic. So yeah, I've been busy prepping and getting things ready for that. I've been a little bit unwell this past week, so I've had a couple of migraines that have laid me up for a while. Had one a week apart from each other, so kind of just got over the first one, had a couple of days where I wasn't too bad, and then I had another migraine yesterday. So as you can see, I'm in my pajamas today, having a bit of a chill day. I went out into town this morning, picked up a few bits and bobs which I'll show you, and yeah, I've got a few bits from Wetherby as well which I'm going to go through. So I'm going to start with the bits that I got today, and I spent £34.98, and that was £24.99 on items that will be for resale in jewellery making. I spent £3.49 on myself on personal items and £6.50 on Thriftmas. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split this video, so this first section will be the hauls and all the things that I've purchased, and then tomorrow I'm going to film the second half, which will be all the things that I've got for Thriftmas so far. So I'm going to go into the cupboard, pull everything out, lay it all out on the bed, split it up into little piles so I know what I've got for who, and have a look what I've spent so far, because I want to make sure that I keep track of everything, and I don't want to just be buying and then realise that I've bought too much, or I've got too many things for one person and not another, and that kind of thing. So I'm going to get all my Thriftmas stuff out, and you can have a look at that with me. But to start with, I'm going to go through today's haul, and to say I didn't think I would find very much, I was yeah, chuffed. In St Vincent's I found 11 pieces of jewellery, so I was really happy with that. I'm going to pull out some of the nicer pieces to show you, and then what I'll do is I'll lay everything out and I'll do a pan round. So I'll do a slow film of all the different items so you can see them in more detail. So the bits that I got from St Vincent's, I got this beautiful kind of modernist 70s ring. There we go. Look at that stone. Beautiful, lovely blue, and I love that shape as well. That's really nice. And that'll be made out of steel, and the blue in the centre there is a slice of mother of pearl that's been dyed. But I thought that was gorgeous. I'm actually going to take some of my vintage jewellery to the Witches Market as well, because I figured that there's probably some unique pieces in there that might be of interest to people. So I'm going to kind of have, probably half my stall will be all my handmade jewellery, and then the other half will be vintage, because I thought that'd be a nice mixture. And then I got this necklace. I loved the chunky design on this one. Look at that. So it's got these lovely, I think they've been made to look like bone. They've got this kind of, if I hold that bead up, they've got this black in the inside the plastic, which kind of makes it look like bone. And then these lovely big black chunky beads as well. It's got a lovely weight to it, and then it's on a nice kind of pleated rope. There we go. And as I've said before, all the necklaces in St. Vincent's are only £1, so that was a bargain. And then this is beautiful. I was very, 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 still very tempted to keep this one. Oh, it's stunning. In fact, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 strands of tiny, tiny pearls, which are real. At first, I thought they were faux pearls. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So we've got 10 strands there of these beautiful pearls, and they've got a lovely lustre to them which shines, and then they've got this beautiful vintage clasp. It's got a little pinch. There we go, and then that just pops back in there. I thought there might have been some markings on there. I thought this might have had a brand on it, but it doesn't, which is yeah, it's a shame really. I thought this would have been maybe a higher end costume jewellery piece. So yeah, I think that's absolutely stunning, and it's not very long, so I think it will fit more like a choker. So in fact, let's have a look. And oh yeah, oh, look at that. Oh, that is so nice. So you imagine if you had a lovely black top or a black off-the-shoulder dress and you had these on. Oh, so very tempted to keep those. And they were a steal for £1. I couldn't believe it. There was, in fact, their jewellery section was full today. There was absolutely loads and loads of necklaces to have a look through. So yeah, I was quite pleased with that one. And then this, I think, is Delft pottery. We have some Delft pottery upstairs, some little houses, and I've sold brooches and pendants before, so I do believe that's what this is. So it has this distinctive, like, stained blue pattern. This one's got a floral pattern on, which is very, very, very Delft looking to me. And then it's got this beautiful silver tone frame that they've set it in. And that's on a nice chain. So again, that was £1. And then the last one I got that was vintage was this, and I like the shape of it. There we go. So it's a nice diamond shape, and each link, each one of these is kind of attached together with jump rings. So I think they look almost like little flowers. And then it moves because they're all linked together with the jump rings. And that's on a nice long rope chain, and that was £1 as well. I did get a few other necklaces, but I've got too many to go through, so what I'll do is I'll show you all of those at the end and you can have a good squiz. And I got another ring as well. So then I had a tootle up and went to the next one that comes along is the Age UK one, and I always have a look in their glass cabinet because they always have some nice bits and pieces in there. So the first thing that I spotted was really, really bold, and I was kind of thinking, oh, that's going to be really expensive because it's quite big and bold and chunky. So I asked the lady if I could have a look, and it's a bracelet, like a clamper bracelet, and I couldn't believe the price. I was quite shocked really. It's only costume jewellery, but still, for the size of it, I would have expected this to have been, you know, a lot pricier. But look at that. It's absolutely huge. So it's like a 3D purple rhinestone flower, and then it's on this. That's the band, and then it opens on a hinge, which has still got a lot of wear in it, which is brilliant. I can't find any stamps or any marks or anything on there, so I don't know who the maker is. And just up there in that top corner there, you can just see that one of the rhinestones is missing. But I've got tons and tons of rhinestones, so I'll be able to just replace that. But yeah, I thought that was amazing. Let's put it on and see what it looks like. It's almost like a vintage corsage that the people would wear to the prom. So look at that. Absolutely huge. So it's a real statement piece. Very kind of gothic-y looking. It's got this lovely antique silver tone to it, and then it's darker in some of the areas as well. So yeah, that was the mighty sum of £1.99, which I thought was amazing. And I haven't done any research or anything. I will look it up on Google Lens and just see if I can find maybe where it's from, whether it's branded or not, and how much it was originally. But I'm tempted to take that one to the Witches' Fair because I think that might be something that someone would be interested in. A little bit gothic looking. And then the only other piece of jewellery that I got in there was this little brooch. And these sell really well. I usually bundle these up in kind of like 3s and 4s. So this is a handmade little copper leaf. So that'll be a real leaf that's inside, and then they've done this plate into it to give it this copper finish. But with it being autumn now, which can very much tell because it's cold outside, we've got quite a miserable day up north today. These should go really, really well. And this one was £1. So this, I loved the pattern on it. There we go. It's got this nice pink floral designs. It's a little jug, maybe a little milk jug, or I guess a gravy jug, something like that. And it's got the brand on the bottom. So this is the Royal Worcestershire, can't get my words out today. I'm not even going to say it because I can't. And it is Palissy design, made in England, casual tableware. So I will probably look that up. And that's the other side. It's got a slightly different pattern on each side. But I love the colours. And again, it's quite autumnal with the browns and the oranges. And that was only £1. So I figured I would probably pop that one on eBay. Someone might have this set and might be missing the jug. And then I picked this little trinket box up. I haven't opened it. It's kind of all stuck together, but I loved. Look at the shape of that. It's quite unusual. And the pattern kind of matches all the way around, which is lovely. And that was £1 as well. So I'm just assuming that those two halves come apart and then you could pop something inside there. Now this next item I actually saw on Pinterest. I do like to have a look on Pinterest at ideas. I like to look at other people's jewellery, look at vintage jewellery, look at the materials that people have used, see if I can get any inspiration for my pieces. And someone had used one of these. Now I can't remember what they're called, but you see them a lot. You used to see them hanging up in pubs, like ye olde villagey pubs. And they're these kind of brass ornaments. So that one's got a clover on, which is quite nice. And then this, I did think this was similar, but it isn't. This is actually the top of probably the lid of a pot puree pot. So it would have sat on top of the pot. But this has got a really nice floral design. And I did look around to see if they had the pot, but they didn't. And what someone had done on Pinterest is they turned these into pendants. So they'd attached some rope and beads and some other things and turned them into kind of huge medallion style pendants, which I thought was a really, really good idea, which I'm going to pinch and do my own take on it. They are quite heavy, so I think they'll probably have to go on some kind of chunky chain or maybe like a braided rope, some hemp rope. That might look quite nice. But I thought the designs were lovely. They might appeal to someone. And these were only £2, so £1 each. So I'm gonna have a bit of fun with those and see what I can make, see what necklaces I can make out of those. I'm always looking for things that are a little bit different, unique. And I always love vintage. I love working vintage materials and upcycling them into new designs. So I was really happy with those. And then this last thing that I got, I'm going to turn it into a top. So it's a tablecloth, and I think I've told you guys before that I love to get fabrics from the charity shops. I love picking up vintage bedding, vintage tablecloths, bed throws, that kind of thing, tea towels, and then upcycling them into other things. So I have a top that I bought from the charity shop that I absolutely love, and I've had it on all summer. You'll have seen it in some of the videos. It's like a really light blue, really baggy, soft cotton top. And I thought it's a really simple design. I could probably copy it. I could probably make a pattern from it and then do another top myself. So I got this fabric, which, as you can see, is beautiful autumnal colours. So we've got the yellows and the oranges and the browns, and it's a lovely, it's difficult to describe, it's got like a texture to it, like a bubbly texture. So I love fabrics that don't require any ironing, because I gave up ironing 8 years ago when I was diagnosed with ME, and I kind of realised that I had very little energy for things. I looked at my kind of daily tasks and decided that ironing was something I just didn't have the energy for, and I gave it up, which I'm glad, and I've never looked back. So fabrics like this don't require any ironing. You can just wash them and then hang them to dry. So I'm going to turn that one into a top, which I think will be quite nice. And what I might do is I might extend the sleeves, because the top that I had a 3/4 length sleeve. So I might give it a long sleeve, and then it'll be a little bit warmer for the autumn months. And that was £1.99, and it's huge. It's a really, really big one. I think it's a square or a rectangle, actually. Might be rectangular, but there's at least, I would say, 2.5, 3 meters of fabric there. For £2, you can't go wrong. And I went up into the RSPCA and had a nosy in there. I got this little pot. So I think it's meant to be like a plant pot. It's got a nice glazed finish to it, really simple. But I've got this for the stall for the witchy market, because I haven't done a stall for a very long time, and I'm thinking about how I can display the jewellery. And I want it to I want the table to look really eye-catching and almost like a table of curiosities that draws people in. And what I thought I could do with this is I could hang pairs of earrings all the way around, just as a different way of being able to display things, because I don't just want to lay everything out on the table, because then everything's flat, and I don't think that looks very attractive. It's not very appealing. Whereas if you've got things kind of hanging up and displayed differently, then that might draw people over. So this was £1.50, and that's what I'm going to use that for. I'm going to put earrings all around the edge then. I should be able to get quite a few pieces on there, actually. Maybe about 10 to 15 pairs of earrings hanging from there. And with it having a white background, it should show them off really nice as well. So yeah, that's going to go on the display. And then the only piece of jewellery I got from there was this necklace, and it's vintage, and it's got a little tag on it that says 22 karat gold plated, and it's a lovely twist necklace. So it's in golden cream. It's got these lovely kind of curved tubular beads and these little gold beads. So this is all gold plated, which is lovely. And then it fastens at the top there with a little spring ring, nice and long. And that was £2. There we go. They did have some other things in there, but there wasn't anything that caught my eye. They had a few bits in their specials cabinet, but nothing for me today. And then I wandered up to the top and went into, where did I go? Sense was the next one I went into, went right to the top. And I got a few bits in there for Thriftmas, so I shall show you those now. So the first thing that I spotted as I came through the door was this, and this is going to be for Mum. She loves anything Art Deco. She loves the Art Deco ladies. She's got some Art Deco things in her bedroom and in the dining room as well. And I've already got a couple of pieces that I've put away for Christmas. So this is a little notebook. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. And it's really funny. Again, it's got this kind of autumnal theme to it with the oranges and the reds. That seemed to be the theme today of the things that I was picking up. and it's just a little notebook, just got lined pages inside, and that was £1. So yeah, it's a nice little stocking filler for mum. And then for my friend's young girl, she is interested in jewellery making, and there are some beads and things that I don't tend to use, and certain colours that I don't work with as much as others. So I did say that she told me her favourite colours, and I said that if I had things that I wasn't going to use, I would keep them all together, and then I would create her a little tin of jewellery making materials. So I've been keeping my eye out for a tin to put them in, and I thought this was beautiful. So it's like a little carry case, but it's got this stunning fairy design on there, which I believe these are by a particular artist. There was a set of books that had all these fairies in, Sugar Plum Fairy, and they all had different names. It's got a different design on the back. It's made of, it's a metal one. It's got a little catch on it at the front so it clips shut, and that was £1.50. So I thought that was brilliant, and I'm going to fill this with all the jewellery making materials so that she can make herself some bracelets and necklaces and that kind of thing. So yeah, that was another Thriftmas item. And then the only piece of jewellery I got in there, and I had to be super careful because it was tangled up with another one, and the lady at the till was like, just pull it apart, just pull it apart. And I was like, I can't. The jeweller in me does not want to destroy a perfectly good necklace just to get, you know, access to another one. But I managed to ease it off because this one was the one that I wanted. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It's got like olive green, purple, oranges, like a citrine yellow, all these beads, and it's really, really long, and it's on like a Rolo chain but in copper, which is lovely. I love copper jewellery. It's one of my favourite things. So yes, it's like a long flapper style necklace, and I guess if you really wanted to, you could double it up and wear it like that as well. And that was £1.50. So that was everything I got from Sense. Joanne wasn't there today because it's term time again, so she's gone back to her teaching, and I believe she only volunteers on a Saturday now whilst it's term time, so I'll have to pop in on a Saturday and say hello. And then the last shop that I went to was Mencap, which is next door but one, and I just got a couple of delicate items in there. So I picked up this beautiful cranberry glass pot. There we go. And it's got this lovely gold painted design on there. And I believe in the top it would originally have had a stopper in there. It's kind of finished off, yeah, as if there would have been a stopper in the top. But it doesn't necessarily need a stopper in there. I just thought it was lovely as it was. And that was only £1, so I couldn't resist. It's quite sturdy, so I'd be quite happy to ship that, I think, and not worry too much about that getting damaged. And then this was another item that I was kind of tempted to keep for myself and maybe keep an eye out to see if I can find any more, because I absolutely love vintage pottery and I love vintage designs. I love stoneware, I love glazed pottery. So this, if I hold that up, is a dinner plate with this beautiful design on. And this was £2.50, and I did look it up before I bought it just to make sure it was worth purchasing. So it has the maker's mark on the back. So it says Langley, made in England. And I did look these up, and they go for quite decent money. They can go for kind of £10 a plate, depending on the size of the plate. Some people sell them in sets. But this was just one on its own, so I think what I might do is put it to one side and keep my eye out for this design, see if I can find any more and create a set, and then I will either keep them, so swap out some plates that we have and swap them for these ones, because they're really sturdy as well, they're really well made, or I'll create a set and then I will sell that probably on eBay. That was everything that I picked up today. Like I said, at the weekends we went to Wetherby and had a pot around there, and I picked some more bits up for display. I managed to get a lovely wooden kind of like, I think originally you would have hung it on the wall and maybe hung keys on it, and then it had a little drawer at the bottom. I'm fixing it at the minute because it had a split in the wood, so I have it kind of clamped up and I've put some wood glue in, so I'm hoping that that's gonna come back together. Had a little vintage sticker on the back that said made in Indonesia, and it's a really nice dark stained wood. So again, I thought on the table with some jewellery hanging on it, that would make a really nice display. And it was only £3.50, so possibly because it had the split in the wood, but it should fix up really nice. It was just a straight split, so I think I just need to, yeah, hope that it sticks back together. And then I picked up some jewellery bits as well. Again, quite a few necklaces. So what I'm going to do is I'll pull out a few bits that was kind of, you know, the nicer pieces, the more unusual pieces, and then the rest I will lay out and I'll pan the camera around so you can have a proper look. So yeah, let's dip in and see what we got. So this little tray I got for display as well, because I'm looking for things that create height, so different levels of height that are kind of eye-catching. And this, there we go. So it's a nice little wooden tray in this lovely pale grey, and it's got these little foldy legs. So that would create some nice height on the table, and then I can put some items in there. So maybe I could put some necklaces, drape some necklaces in there. Maybe some of the vintage items would look good in there. It is a little bit dirty, so it needs a little bit of a clean, and I am tempted as well to paint some of the items up so they're all kind of in keeping. That's something, a project probably for a day. And that was £2. So I'm doing really well with the display stuff. I think so far I've probably spent around maybe about £15, something like that, for display items. And I've got 2 metal displays. I've got the wooden box display, the tray, a couple of little pots and a little stand. So that's not bad really, is it? And like I said, they just need a clean and a little bit of a paint up. I have some vintage glass bottles that I'm going to sell. I'm going to take those to the witches market as well. And then I picked this one up because this was in the charity shop. I love the colour of it. I love that cobalt blue. I think it's beautiful. It does have some kind of mark on the bottom there that you can just see. But that was 50p. So I thought that was lovely and cheap. I'm going to try and see if I can get some corks for the top, but I thought they'd be nice for display. Now I have 3 of these, and these were £1 each. So again, that beautiful deep cobalt blue, and there are 3 of them. So I think I will sell those as a set. And they're really heavy. They're like a really solid glass. Very, very good quality. So quite a bargain at £1 each. And then I picked this up because I thought it looked unusual. And this lovely little trinket box. And this has been hand carved. So the lid comes off. There we go. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought it'd be nice to put some jewellery inside or something. Keep your little trinkets in. And that was 75p. And when I Google searched this, these are selling online for around £20. Which is bonkers, absolutely bonkers. So yeah, and apparently it's some kind of bark, some kind of tree bark that's been hand carved. So I was quite chuffed with that for 75p. I also picked up this little dish, which is another one for the display. So this will be going on the table, and I thought rings would look really nice in here. So there you go, it's got like a grapevine design in this brass with black enamel. It's a lovely little dish, and that one was £1. So I shall show you some of the jewellery pieces that I got. This one I picked up because it's copper. I love copper jewellery. I think for the autumn as well, copper looks really, really autumnal. Lovely colours, and it's been finished really nice with this toggle clasp, which is quite hard to see, but it looks like a little hand is holding onto it there, which is really sweet. So that's a choker style necklace, panel necklace, and that was £1. And then I picked this up, and I know it's really, really worn, but I think that gives it kind of a really nice look, a really nice finish. And I can't work out how old it is, or whether it's modern and it's just been worn to death and you know, like the coating's worn away. But look at that. I love this pattern. So it's a huge clamper bracelet, and again it's got really good spring on it. It's just got this really kind of dull silver tone, and it's kind of brighter in some areas, so maybe it was plated and it's rubbed away from wear. So I will have a go at giving that a bit of a clean. There's no marks or anything on it, but that was £1.99. So yeah, I was very tempted to keep that one as well because that's my cup of tea, but can't keep everything. If I kept everything, then I wouldn't make any pennies. So yeah, I'm going to give that a clean and then put that down for resale. I managed to pick up this lovely Laura Ashley necklace. So if I hold that up, so it's a charm necklace with all these silver tone charms. There's a little horse on there, there's some leaves, some really nice patterned decorative beads in all different shapes, and then there's some tiger's eye beads in there as well, which finishes it off nicely. And it's got the name on the little tag there. So yeah, I was quite happy with that, and that was £2. One of the charity shops, all their necklaces were £2, which is very reasonable. So I managed to pick up all these things. So I picked this up. This is similar to a necklace that I got recently, but I love these chunky beads. I love these colours, again, autumnal colours. And these ones are textured, the silver ones, and they've got like a lined pattern on them, as if they've been brushed. So yeah, I really liked that, and it's got a nice finish to it. And that was £2, which is great for a necklace like that, nice and chunky. I don't know if it's genuine. I'm assuming it is because it's stamped on the back, and quite a simple design. It's foiled glass, so it's a nice round glass pendant, quite big, and it's just on a simple rope. But on the back it does have Murano glass, there we go, stamped in the centre. Because a lot of people, particularly on eBay and on Etsy as well, list things as Murano grass. Imagine that, selling Murano grass. Murano glass, when it isn't. It's a lot of it is cheap Chinese knockoffs. So just, yeah, cheap Chinese glass that's been churned out in a factory, and people think it's Murano, but it's not. Whereas this has this little stamp on the back, so I'm going to research that and just double check that it is genuine, because I would rather know that it was and sell it as genuine than take a guess. And then the last piece that I thought was quite interesting was this bracelet. There we go. It's a nice cream and gold tone, and this is bone that's been carved, so it's got a lovely little pattern on there that someone's carved, like a little circular pattern. And that one fastens with a hook and a loop. And that was the mighty sum of £1.50. So that one then will go on Etsy, I think. Things like this tend to sell really well on there. But I've done really well this month. It's been a bit of a spendy month, and I do need to calm down a little bit, because I need to list. I need to get on with the listing. As they say, you need to, you know, if you want to sell it, you've got to list it, you've got to feed the beast. So I've been really good with eBay lately. I've done some listing, and then with Etsy, I've been listing more of the handmade items, but I need to get back on with the vintage as well and top that up, because now is the ideal time. Now is when people are looking for Christmas things. They're looking for Christmas gifts and presents and jewellery to wear with outfits for Christmas parties and that kind of thing, New Year's. So yeah, I really need to make sure that I'm listing as much as possible. But sales have been really good as well. For an August month, I had really, really good sales, which is fantastic. And I think the YouTube is helping. I think that YouTube is helping to bring people to the shop, which is awesome. I'm getting a lot more views. My views have gone up recently. And I really like it when people leave me a message as well. So I've had a couple of customers who have put in the little message box that they found me on YouTube and they've come to the shop and they've bought this for whatever reason. Someone bought something as a gift, and I love that. I love hearing from people, and you know, it's really good for me as well to know where people have come from, because you do get some analytics on Etsy, but it's not always possible to work out where people have found you. So yeah, YouTube seems to be working for that, which is fantastic. And it's building up a lovely little community as well. We've got people who obviously have similar interests to me, people that are resellers, people that love their vintage, particularly jewellery. And the cleaning video that I did recently has done really well. Some people weren't aware of how good apple cider vinegar is at cleaning things, so I will pop a link up here to that one just in case you haven't seen it. But I do a bit of an experiment with some cleaning to see what works best. And yeah, people are leaving comments and sharing ideas, and it's fantastic. And subscriber wise, I think at the minute we are at, I checked this morning, try not to check every day, and this morning it was 385. Yes, 385, which is amazing, because if I had to count how many of those people I actually know, so physically know, like friends or family, I'm probably talking about 10 to 15 people. So really, like 370 of those people I do not know, which is amazing to think. Like, that blows my mind. It always blows my mind to think that, you know, there are people out there that are tuning in and watching my little channel, and yeah, it gives me a real buzz. So I'm going to do another update soon on kind of that side of things and how it's going with the channel, the views, the subscriptions and that kind of stuff. But for now, I'm going to go put my feet up. I'm going to have a nice cup of tea. I think I'm going to have an Earl Grey. I love Earl Grey tea. It's a bit of a kind of grey and miserable day today, so I think I'm going to get a blanket and a cup of tea and just get snuggled. I might do a meditation and see if I can maybe nod off for a little bit as well, have a bit of a nap. And then tomorrow I'm going to pop back on and I'm going to do the filming of all the Thriftmas items. So I'm going to get everything out that I've got for Thriftmas, talk you through some of my ideas of what I'm going to make as well. I'm going to make some of the gifts for people, and yeah, hopefully that'll give you some ideas as well. So I shall see you tomorrow.